Hello, my name is Professor Hudson, and let us continue with the narrated PowerPoint for Chapter 7 on photosynthesis. In the light reaction, sunlight is harnessed and converted into energy carrier molecules such as ATP and NADPH. Now those two molecules will be used in the Calvin cycle, also known as the dark reactions, in order to actually produce carbohydrates, which will be the building blocks for other molecules in the cell. The stages of the Calvin cycle can be divided into carbon fixation, the synthesis of G3P, and the regeneration of ribulose biphosphate. The Calvin cycle captures carbon dioxide. ATP and NADPH synthesized from light reactions are used to power the synthesis of a simple sugar called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, or G3P. This simple sugar is then used to construct other organic molecules. This process is accomplished through a series of reactions occurring in the stroma called the Calvin cycle, also known as the dark reactions, also known as the light-independent reactions. For this second half of photosynthesis, we do not need sunlight anymore. This is a summary of the Calvin cycle. During carbon fixation, carbon from carbon dioxide is incorporated or fixed into a larger molecule of organic nature. The enzyme ribisco combines 3 carbon dioxide molecules with 3 ribulose biphosphate molecules to form 3 unstable 6-carbon molecules that each quickly split in half. 6 molecules of a 3-carbon product, phosphoglyceric acid, PGA, result. The generation of this 3-carbon PGA molecule is called the C3 pathway, and this is the type of photosynthesis used by most flowering plants. The next thing that happens is the synthesis of G3P occurs in a series of reactions using energy received by ATP and NADPH. Energy donated by ATP and NADPH is used to convert the 6 PGA molecules into 6 of the 3-carbon sugar G3P. The regeneration of ribulose biphosphate is the third stage. ATP from the light reaction is used with 5 of the 6 G3P molecules formed to generate the 5-carbon RUBP necessary to repeat the cycle. The remaining G3P molecules, which are the end products of photosynthesis, exit the cycle. Carbon fixed during the Calvin cycle is used to synthesize glucose. In reactions that occur outside the Calvin cycle, 2 G3P molecules can be combined to form one 6-carbon glucose molecule. Glucose may then be converted to the disaccharide sucrose or linked to form a starch or cellulose. Some glucose molecules are broken down during cellular respiration to give the plant energy. This slide is showing the various things that can be made from the precursor carbohydrate, or the simple sugar G3P. This molecule can be used through a series of pathways to make other carbohydrates, starch, and cellulose. It can also serve as the building block for making fatty acids and amino acids. The process that we just went through is referred to C3 photosynthesis. This is favored by plants in cooler climates in the typical form of photosynthesis. The different types of photosynthesis can be categorized according to how, where, and when carbon dioxide fixation occurs. In C3 plants, the whole process occurs in the mesophyll cell, and it is not separated by time. Some alternative methods of photosynthesis are the C4 pathway and the CAM pathway. Why do some plants use alternative pathways for carbon fixation to do photosynthesis? When plant stomata are closed in hot environments to prevent water loss, oxygen will build up in the plant cells. If the stomata is closed, the oxygen can't get out. When the oxygen builds up in the plant cells and ribulose biphosphate combines with it, rather than CO2, this is a wasteful process called photosynthesis. This is a wasteful process called photorespiration. So normally, the ribulose biphosphate is supposed to combine with carbon dioxide. But if there's too much oxygen within the plant cell, because the stomata are closed in the hot environments, then the ribulose biphosphate will combine with oxygen in a process called photorespiration. This process will prevent the Calvin cycle from making sugar, and the plants will eventually die. So the alternative methods of doing photosynthesis have evolved over time to circumvent this photorespiration problem that can occur in dry climates where the stomata are kept closed most of the time. So as we mentioned, C4 photosynthesis and CAM photosynthesis are adaptations. Let's take a closer look at those. So C4 photosynthesis is favored by plants in hot, dry climates. In this situation, part of the photosynthesis occurs in the mesophyll cell, and the rest of the photosynthesis occurs deeper in the plant where CO2 is high, which is the bundle sheath cell. So in C4 photosynthesis, the steps of photosynthesis are separated by location. In CAM plants, which is also favored by plants in hot, dry climates, the steps of photosynthesis are separated by time. So in the CAM plant, it will gather carbon dioxide during the day and do photosynthesis at night when it's cooler, and the stomata can be open in order to let the oxygen diffuse out. Here are a few questions that you could try to answer in order to test your understanding of the process. Question 1 is a knowledge type question, and where you are basically just repeating something you've memorized. In which organelle does photosynthesis take place? Is it the mitochondria, the nucleus, the chloroplast, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, or the vacuole? Choose the correct answer. Next question. Did you choose chloroplast for this one? If you chose chloroplast, you were correct. Here's a comprehension question. Comprehension questions are a little bit more challenging than knowledge questions. In this one, you have to use your understanding of the process in order to choose the correct answer. If you provided your plants with their preferred amount of light, plenty of carbon dioxide gas, but only a little bit of water, which of the following would you expect to occur? Choose the best answer. In this question, they're asking you if you had the right amount of light and plenty of carbon dioxide gas, but only minimal amounts of water, which would occur? The correct answer is C. In order to answer this question, you must understand that water is split into light reactions in order to generate the energy of ATP. So if there's not enough water, then we can't generate the right amount of ATP. Question 3, application analysis. These questions are even more challenging. In order to answer these, you must understand and actually apply several different concepts in order to get the correct answer. If a herbicide blocked the Calvin cycle, which of the following statements would be true? The correct answer here is D as in David. In order to understand this question, you must know the stages of photosynthesis and the products made at each stage, and then apply that knowledge to solve a problem. In this question, it asks you about blocking the Calvin cycle, and which would be true. The purpose of the Calvin cycle is to make the carbohydrate. So if you block the Calvin cycle, then you would get no carbohydrate or sugar made by the plant. This concludes our narrated PowerPoint lectures for the photosynthesis chapter.